We know hypoglycemia is a big problem for people with type 1 diabetes during exercise. This is thanks to increased insulin sensitivity and increased glucose requirements during exercise. We run a diabetes and physical activity clinic in Imperial College Healthcare NHS Trust, and we see many people with type 1 diabetes who wish to exercise but struggle with controlling their glucose levels. We're particularly interested in the predictive hypoglycemia alert or urgent low soon alert that is in the Dexcom G6 continuous glucose monitoring system. We decided to test this urgent low soon alert in a crossover trial with people with type 1 diabetes. We recruited 24 people with type 1 diabetes who undertook at least 150 minutes of exercise per week. These participants used blinded CGM for 10 days whilst recording their exercise, their carbohydrate and their insulin as usual. At the end of the 10 days, they were randomised to either have CGM with the predictive hypo alert on or the predictive hypo alert off. Again, they undertook their usual exercise and carbohydrate and insulin. After 40 days, the groups swapped over, so the people who had the urgent low soon alert on now had it off and vice versa. What we found was that even in this cohort of people who had glucose levels that were already very close to target with fairly low levels of hypoglycemia, there was still a significant reduction in hypoglycemia when they had the predictive hypo alert on compared to when they had it off. What was particularly interesting is that in the 24 hours after exercise, they experienced significantly less hypoglycemia below 2.8 millimoles per litre, so that's below 50 milligrams per decilitre. There weren't significant differences in the 12 hours after exercise. We're quite interested to know why that is, and we're wondering whether it's that we need more data, so maybe a larger sample size, maybe a cohort with more hypoglycemia at baseline, or it might be to do with the fact that people often eat immediately after exercise. To us, the fact that we found that it reduced hypoglycemia within those 24 hours after exercise is a really, really important finding, because clinically we know that delayed post-exercise hypoglycemia is a real problem. So we know that the urgent low soon alert reduces the rate of hypoglycemia in those that are exercising, not just during and immediately afterwards, but throughout the time that we studied. So we're encouraging our patients to use the urgent low soon alert on their CGM because it has benefits above and beyond the benefits we already know that the CGM has.